Hey guys, and welcome back to Dan's Pro Shop, where everything's made up and the instructions do not matter. Welcome to part 2 of the home shop tour. I'm sorry, I know this is taking forever, but hey man, life's tough. I gotta squeeze this stuff in when I can. So, in case you guys missed it, part 1 of the home shop tour was about that toolbox right there, just slightly out of frame. But if you want to, check it out right up here after this one, obviously. But today, we are going to dig into the whole front right-hand corner of what's going on in the home shop here. There's some consumables, there's some tools, there's some junk, anything and everything. But let's get into it and see what we got today. Alrighty guys, please excuse the shaky movement here, but you're now handheld. We'll do this just to try to make it a little bit easier. We'll start at the top and work our way down. Like I said, this is far from organized, so it just is what it is. I got a couple like half milk crates up there with a bunch of different spray paint. And moving over here, this jug just has like some stain and some small things of Rust-Oleum. You know, I try not to buy the big ones because you never use it before it goes bad. Over here, I got some spare filters, you know, a cabin filter, like a oil filter for the Accord. Got some two-stroke oil for the chainsaw. And I have a metric and a SAE O-ring kit. I'm sure there's more stuff up here too, I just can't see it. Like there's some HVAC insulation, and this stuff is that like protective wrap for going around hydraulic cylinders. Believe it or not, I tear those things apart more than I would like to. So moving down here, I got a under hood light. You know, this is of the fluorescent variety. If that tells you how long I've had that thing, it's not even LED. First shelf here, got the tunes. Because what would a good shop be without having lots of music? Now you guys can see over here, I got speakers all over the garage. Just, unfortunately, YouTube and all their licensing and copyright and everything don't allow you guys to enjoy this as much as I do. So when the camera's on, that can't be. It is what it is, unfortunately. Here I got some spare battery chargers, some DOT tape for trailers and hitches and everything. This is just an anything and everything bin. Stuff goes in here to die. Got some pneumatic tubing. What is that? An intake turbo coupler. This is a capacitor for the air conditioner on the house, and it just goes on and on. Just stuff goes there to die, I'm telling you. I think this is a Wagner power sprayer, a little one. A capacitance meter. This is a spare headlight for a Harley Davidson. Look, this tubes for my kid's little electric dirt bike. You know, just stuff. Going down here, we finally have a little bit more organization. So up here, believe it or not, I'm actually into building model cars and trucks. So that's what that stuff is right there. You know, in my abundance of free time, I actually enjoy building models. So here, I got some fuel hose clamps, a little to-go kit of electrical fittings, whatnot, everything. Here we got a little to-go kit of machine screws, stuff like that. Another kit of smaller machine screws. Coming down here, these ones are actually labeled here. Just miscellaneous heat shrink tube. And this is some more of that hydraulic hose, hydraulic cylinder, whatever, Kevlar protective stuff. Coming down, just tape. Strictly just electrical tape of all different thicknesses, widths, varieties, different chemical makeups, whatever you want. We got the Super 88, Super 33, different colors for doing phasing. Hey, look, there's even a piece of Velcro in here. Just sticky stuff goes in here. Next one down, just zip ties. All different lengths, thicknesses, whatever. Anything and everything you might need zip tie related. We got a drawer just for that. Coming on over here, this is really random crap. Just stuff that might chuck up into a 1/4-inch drill. Look at that, empty drawer. Razor blades, exactly what you would want to expect. Got an inspection sticker scraper thing, because believe it or not, I'm actually a Class 7 inspection license. So I used to do this quite a bit. Not so much anymore, but it's worth keeping that license valid. Junk Allen wrenches. Because if you guys know, if you've turned wrenches for any amount of time, if you're actually a tech, these things rarely ever get used. You always use the ones that go onto a ratchet. So these just kind of come here to die. You know, whenever you buy something and these crappy little silver ones come in the kit, you know, I put them in here. No sense in throwing them away. I'll use them at some point, even if you got to cut the end off so you can just throw one in a drill. It's nice just to have some junk Allen keys. Coming down here, punches and chisels, anything of the pick/pointy variety, or something that you got to slam with a hammer. So I got some brass punches here. This one's specifically made for wheel bearings. That's why that notch is taken out of it. But yeah, I got the radiator hose pick, just regular picks of the short and the long variety. I think this is just some more actually organized brass punches, or just regular punches. Heck, I don't even know. And then chisels, drifts. Here's a brass wedge. Just, yeah, you get the idea. This drawer is specifically brake related. Well, this kit rarely ever gets used anymore because this is for drum brakes. And, well, drum brakes you don't come by much anymore. So that kind of is what it is. Here we got one of these 4 square things for screwing in these newer calipers. This is a flare kit. So if you guys have ever been lucky enough to use a double or a bubble flare kit, that's what this thing is. So you try to avoid getting into there. And then this one is strictly just for tire repair. So this is one of those really nice blackjack plug repair kits. This is a reprogrammer for my GM truck, so whenever I rotate the tires I can tell the computer what it is. Actually, I made a video about this thing. I don't know if it'll be out whenever you see this one, but pay mind, flip through the channel. You might actually get to see a video about this. And then just some random stuff, you know, spare lug nuts for stuff that I own or have owned. You know, a to-go plug kit, some fill-in stuff, tire crayons, anything and everything you might run across. And then a couple of these in different sizes for pulling studs through a hub. You know, this is just a bearing. If you guys have ever used one of these, you know they're really nice. Instead of using the lug nut to try to pull a new stud through the hub, you use this. It just makes everything go way better. Coming down here to the third drawer is where a decent amount of the consumables in the shop are. You can tell here, just miscellaneous. This drawer really is just a hodgepodge. There's not much going on in here. I have different Oetikers. If you guys don't know what an Oetiker is, this is like a permanent hose clamp. So instead of a worm clamp, these ones just pinch down these ears onto a hose and then they are permanently attached. These things are so much better than worm clamps. It's just the only downside is to take them off, you have to cut them. So yeah, unfortunately that's how those work, but these things really are great for good permanent repairs. Got some grommets, got some extra tips here for the torch for different brazing, welding, and cutting applications. Just an oxy-fuel torch is absolutely priceless. If you don't have one, get one. Over here we have a spare ignition for a Caterpillar dozer, because you never know when you're going to need that. Just some wire loom stuff, some routing stuff, you know, these sticky things for putting zip ties on, you know, run a wire across the firewall, whatever you might need. Here we got some plastic spacers, some more grommets, some battery terminals, you know, turning a stud, or turning a lug into a stud. You got a post into a stud. There you go, you know what I meant. Oh, here we go. Here's another spare Caterpillar ignition. Yep, there she is. Got some bearings. Actually, I think this was for a chainsaw. Not really sure, but hey, they're good. They're still in the package, right? We got some spare Zerk fittings. I think these are 1032 Phillips heads. And then some random set screws and drywall anchors and what are these, body clips. And then just some, these are like plastic screws. Moving on down here, aptly named self-tappers and pop rivets. I bet you guys can guess what's going to be in here. Yeah, not as well labeled here, but these are some more of those like fender clips with those M8 bolts. You know, these are just super handy to have because, you know, these things rust out and they spin around on the inside of the bumper or whatever. It's just nice. Got some lag screws, self-tappers of different thicknesses and lengths here, and then pop rivets of stainless steel and aluminum. And I even got some white ones to like fix the flashing in the gutters on the house. Next one down on this side, electrical connectors. This is just the majority of the crimp style connectors that we got here, ranging in all different sizes here. I think this is like I don't know, 24 through 18 or something, and then 18 through 14. I don't remember the exact sizes here, but you guys get the point. Just different crimp style electrical connectors. Then down here, a little more of the same thing with some other stuff mixed in. Got some just regular old wire nuts, some fuses. I know these things are long gone, but you guys know I used to be a maintenance guy at a steel mill, so we used a lot of these things. And yeah, I just ended up with a lot, and this is a place where they went. So here we got some Wagos for the 2 split and the 5 split, some regular glass fuses, which are actually still used for automotive, just rarely. Got some of these Scotch locks. Man, these things are the absolute death to anything automotive application-wise, but sometimes they can be handy if you're doing something that doesn't matter about being corroded. So, yeah, whatever. I have them. They're there. Some inline fuses, some fuses to go in the inline fuse holder. And then different automotive fuses. Different sizes and shapes, different amperages. You know it is what it is. Different alligator clips here. These are flasher relays, 5-pin relays, different headlight bulbs. These are turn signal lenses for a Harley, and then different bulbs for Harley Davidson and taillight, 1157s. These are interior light bulbs. It's just what's kind of stuff you get into. Oh, an LED marker light for a trailer. How do you like that? And here, wedged in the middle, I got some stuff hidden that doesn't fit anywhere else. Here we got another body panel clip kit. Nice little guy. I think I got this on Amazon for like 10 bucks. It's just anything to save you that trip to the parts store at 9 o'clock on Sunday night. I'm all about it. Here we have an OTC kit, or a gear wrench. Look at that. I thought it was OTC. Specifically just O2 sockets. So if you guys haven't seen these are sockets specifically made for O2 sensors. So they're cut out so the wire can go through it, but you don't have to use a wrench because you got this little slot cut out for the wire. Real nice. This is a solid kit. I suggest you check it out if you do anything exhaust related or O2 sensors. Here we got the pop rivet gun. Another little tech tip here. If you guys have a pair of pliers that are spring open and they take up a bunch of room in your drawer, take a hose clamp, flatten it out, and use that to hold the handle shut. You're welcome. That's a freebie. Here we have the death trap kit. If you guys have ever seen one of these before, this is a coil or a strut retainer kit. You guys have seen these, they clamp onto the coil spring over the shock, and you twist this down with your impact gun. Yeah, I try like crazy to avoid using these things, but sometimes you don't have the choice, and you got to get that strut apart. So I don't like this tool, but it's good to have. And the last thing I got hidden over here is a Radio Shack soldering pen. Yeah, that's right, Radio Shack. Boy, hats off, I missed that place. So coming over here, the top of this consumable stack, you guys may not know, I am an avid dart player. So this is my to-go kit. You know how guys always go to the bar and they have their favorite pool stick with them because that's just their thing? Well, this is my go kit for darts. I have my practice darts and my competition darts. I believe that's actually a thing. Yeah, check it out. That's a Gran board 3, in case you guys don't know. But yeah, this is the best way to play darts at home. So, enough about my hobby here. Let's keep going. Here we got combo panhead machine screws. This is probably one of the more organized spots that I have here because there's actually still part numbers and listings. This drawer is absolutely awesome, and I use it way more than I thought that I ever would. Keep on going down here. This is my quick access hex bolt set. So this one right here is just grade 8 hex bolt fasteners. Nuts, locks, flats, and then different sizes of grade 8. And then right below that is grade 8.8 metric, or 10.9, or whatever this is. Yeah, 10.9. So this is just my quick go-to metric kit. And then down here on the bottom is also where stuff kind of goes to die. I just have a DeWalt drill case there. These are my to-go repair sets here. This one you know, the wife calls you and says something's leaking in the kitchen. This is my grab it and go plumbing set, different fittings, solder, whatever. And this is my to-go electrical kit with outlets and conduit stuff, whatever you might need. This is my awesome cordless Brady label maker. If you guys have not seen the video I made about this thing, check it out right up here. Believe me, you don't want to miss it. This thing is a beast. Obviously, a spare case of Iron City. Yeah, because we don't run out around here. Got myself a new lid here. Haven't even took it out of the box yet, but there was a great deal on Rocky Mountain ATV. Couldn't pass it up, so just got a new lid. Here, this is my lawnmower blade sharpening kit. So yeah, I got a junk old DeWalt grinder with a flap wheel and one of these balancing things here. I'm sure you guys have seen this, but it's just nice. You know, you got to go to the farm and sharpen up the brush hog. Just take this kit, throw it in the quad, get out to where you're going. And then obviously peanut oil for whenever we do our ring fries. Everybody needs that, right? Then down here on the floor where all the dirty crap goes, just a collection of drain pans. There's a couple grease guns, there's an evacuation gun, all kinds of stuff. Funnels, whatever you need goes down here. Now coming over here, this is pretty much the nerve center of the shop here, the main bench. This is the stuff that's really getting into the meat and potatoes. Whenever you see probably 80% of my videos, this is really where it takes place. If it's not at work, this is where it happens. So up here, I got more of the consumable stuff. Whenever I go and buy motor oil or like spray cleaner or stuff, I try my best to just buy a case of it. Because if I'm getting it, I use it. So I put the ones that I need in here, and then all the extras go up top. So next time I do an oil change, I know I probably got 5 or 6 quarts sitting up there ready to go. And everything that's in here is my go-to consumable stuff. So here, you know, Loctite, tap oil, like spare clutch for a chainsaw because you never know when you're going to need that. You know, more Loctite, dielectric grease, silicone, anything and everything. And here, I've got some spare oil filters and an air filter for, I think that's a Briggs lawnmower. And it's, you know, the common stuff. Brake cleaner, PB blaster. I think there's some silicone renew stuff back there. Oh yeah, and the black ice for the ladies. And then over here is more of the lubes and oil. It's got some spare headlights. Got derby cover gaskets for a Harley. Some more headlights up there. Transmission oil, gear oil, jack oil, whatever. And then we have the operating table herself. Here, we got the digital microscope. I also made an awesome video about this thing. Check that out when you can. And then I just have my most commonly used wrenches here hanging on the wall. And I've done my best to try to separate this thing SAE and metric. So we're starting down here with 1/4 inch clean up to 1 1/8 inch. There are larger ones, but there was no point in putting them on the wall because I thought that this was the biggest you needed to go to that you needed access to. So this is the regularly go-to stuff. And then I even got some of the stubby variety here. These are the extended gear wrench offset box. Dude, these things are absolutely amazing. Like whenever you do a brake job ripping off a caliper, this is the go-to. I absolutely love these wrenches. And then we have Imperial line wrenches up here. I absolutely love it. If you guys are looking at this thing and like, hey, what the hell is this? This is a 1-inch Craftsman wrench with a deep well socket brazed onto it. That's right, brazed. I didn't weld that, I brazed that simply because that's what I had at the time. But whenever I worked at the steel mill, we had this really big radial arm drill, and to adjust the clutch pack, you had to tighten a jam nut and have an Allen wrench go through the center to the adjusting stud. So this was just a, you know, a need invention, and it's just handy. I've had this ever since. I don't think I've ever really used it since, but it's just nice to have. And over here we got some T-handle Allens. A big, long-handled ratcheting screwdriver I got off the Mack truck, total impulse buy. And then over here, we have the metric stuff. So the small wrenches, the stubbies, and same thing. 6 through 18, 8 through 19 on the long handle offset box gear wrenches. Absolutely love them. I got me a paint jug here, which is regularly used lube and grease. You know, you're putting something together and you just need a little finger full of grease to put in a bearing. Keep a tube on the bench. It's just handy to have. And then here we got a cigar humidor, you know, for the weekends. And then a little first aid kit there. Coming down underneath the bench here, it's not all that exciting. We've got some more of these drawer kits here for cotter pins and roll pins. I just simply ran out of space in these drawers over here. Got an actual plug-in drill and a battery load tester. Some empty Milwaukee cases, because we all have those. A bin for junk rags. I think this is a whole bunch of extra, you know, like build your own bungee cords. They're super handy to have. Down here we got some antifreeze ready to go, already mixed up. This is a Mighty Vac for bleeding brakes, and then just some random steel and everything. Here we got the shop vac. That's where she lives. Nice little hidey hole for it there. And then most of this stuff is marked out. This is my to-go Impact SAE socket set. Different drivers, hex drives, you know, triple squares, Torx, whatever. This is another to-go electrical kit. We've got a PLC just hanging out in there. So yeah, you know, you gotta go in the house, change an outlet, do something, install a light. This is just the average tools you might need. You know, a junk meter, some boxes, some wire, anything and everything. In here we got fender covers for when you're working on cars. You don't want your belt buckle to scratch up the fender. Here we got, what is this, a wire terminal kit. Got a slide hammer. This is a magnetic base dial indicator. We got a steering wheel puller kit. And then I think this is a ball joint press. And last but not least, this is one of those Harbor Freight roll carts. I got this thing when I was in college because really it's all I could afford. But the shop I was working at the time, I needed a box. So this is what I got. And I just kind of, it stayed with me for the longest time. So I took the wheels off of it, slid it under the bench. Now it's just kind of like an extra box. Up here, got a bunch of zip ties, you know, some extra darts. Actually, I think, yeah. This drawer is all extra darts. And we got some part numbers for stuff I'm looking at for the dirt bike. Yeah. Over here is a hodgepodge. You know, the staple guns, an engraving tool, because I like to put my names in most of my tools so I don't get them lost at work. A spare backup beeper. And then the bigger sockets that you don't usually use. You know, next time you're tearing a bridge apart, you might need that socket. And this guy is cool. If you guys are unfamiliar, back in the day, semi-trucks, you know how they have two wheels on the axle? Well, it didn't used to just have one nut holding both wheels on. There was an inner nut and an outer nut. And one was reverse thread. But you had to hold one nut so you could take the stud off of the other. That's how this works. You see this little fork here? It goes in the hole of the opposing stud there and locks onto the nut, so you can reverse spin the stud out of this. Yeah, this is really lost technology and it doesn't exist anymore, but this is a really cool tool to have. And honestly, I keep it just for the story. Rarely ever do you run into something that you would need this for anymore. Down here on this drawer, this is just the extra stuff, really. I know, extra, but you know, it's an extra set of screwdrivers because I used to be a road tech, so I had to have like 4 of everything. So this is the set of screwdrivers I had in my truck, and then just some junk ones, you know, you use for open and spray paint and whatever, and then just a big old bearing separator. And this drawer is pretty much just 3/4 drive stuff, so minus this puller here. Got the Aircat 1600 3/4 inch gun. This is a Williams 3/4 inch ratchet, and then this is also a Williams 3/4 inch socket set. You know, it's stuff that doesn't get used all that often, but it's priceless to have. And you got some 3/4 extensions here, just, you know, stuff you don't get to all the time, but you really need. And then finally, underneath here, this is also a spot where stuff goes to die. This is extra consumable stuff. Like that kit right there, that is my to-go metric impact socket set. I think it's like 6 to 32 or something in there. It doesn't get used all the time, but whenever you need something to go, you grab that. Here's a cute little hand miter box if you're doing some trim or something in a place where you can't get a power saw. You know, a box of grease, got a laser level here, some extra wire, you know, just whenever you need to hide something, you throw it in here. Then finally, up here in the cabinet on the wall, got some more to-go kits. This is like a drill and driver, anything and everything you might need. And then fasteners, anything and everything you might need. So like just random screws and lag bolts and anything. whenever you need to do something where you got to fix two things together, I just grab those two bags and take off. And then up here, got me a spool of brake line and about 17 M12 chargers, because you guys know if you buy anything M12, especially a kit, you get another charger with it. Well, how many chargers do you need? I think I only used 2 of them, and there's probably, I don't know, 4 or 6 of them up there still in the bag. And lastly, we got a regular old trouble light on a reel. You know, these things are super handy because you don't always have a flashlight in your pocket. I know cordless is the way of the future, but sometimes it's just nice to have unlimited light. Turn this on, throw it under the car, slap it on the hood, whatever you need to do. This stuff is just great. And plus, it doubles as a retractable extension cord. Can't beat it. So guys, sorry this took so long to get part 2 out here, but like I said, you know, this is time contingent. I can do what I can do when I can do. So yeah, I know this isn't nearly as down to the level tool as the first video was, but any good shop needs stuff, right? I try my best to build my shop. Imagine if you're doing a project at like 11 o'clock on a Sunday night and you need one more bolt to finish it. Well, no such thing as having too much stuff. So I try to really be prepared for the stuff that you can't think of. I mean, it's inevitable. You always run out of something, but man, I really try to avoid that scenario. So hopefully you guys enjoyed what we got going on here, and I have no idea when we'll come out with part 3, but I guarantee you there will be a part 3. So thanks for coming on and visiting Dan's Pro Shop, and we will see you guys next time.